Live from page 42 of Matt Damon's Dream Diary. It's the Geek Show podcast.
What?
We just fair warning. We're not the basketball. Okay, we're not the basketball. Just wanted to let you know. Okay, let's start the show. What is in that dream journal, by the way?
Page 42. Woo, spicy stuff.
Doggy.
Spicy.
Where's his dream journal?
It's in his underwear drawer next to his socks.
Yeah, it's where everybody keeps their dream journal, right?
Once a year on our birthday, Matt invites me over to the house, and he lets me do whatever I want. And I always go straight for the Dream Diary.
Of course you do.
And he never writes about me.
Oh, that's too bad.
So you should make an entry in the journal to see if he notices.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, but I always sign it as William Shatner. So he's convinced that Shatner's breaking into his house and reading his Dream Diary.
So then he is writing about you.
He's writing about Shatner.
Well,
it's you as Shatner, as Kirk, as T.J. Hooker.
That is a threesome. That
Am I
is.
having a stroke? What's happening?
No, you're
You
fine.
are. No. You are having a stroke.
She's having a stroke. She's Rebecca Frost, everybody.
Hi, Dios mío, everybody.
Oh, you're all right.
That's the 30 years later sequel to She's Having a Baby. She's having a stroke.
Wow, I saw that movie in theaters.
Wow.
Stroke?
Oh,
It was a double feature with St. Elmo's Fire.
did I catch that Robert Neal had a stroke in a theater? Robert Neal, everybody.
What? Hello.
So I don't want to make this joke, but did you guys hear about the man at the screening of the movie Love Lies Bleeding, which is about lesbian bodybuilders, and it's people at Sundance when they saw it were hooting and hollering, but there was a man who saw it at a theater who was so drunk he started jerking off during the movie. Fell asleep.
Yes, I did hear about that.
Dick in hand. And like if you look at like the little side table next to him, he's got like 2 little things of Fireball, a pack of cigarettes.
It's just once
They
again
refunded everyone's money.
fueling my belief that Paul Rubens is alive and well.
He believes Paul
he
Rubens.
did it where he was supposed to.
Yeah.
Are you supposed to? Never mind. He's Jack Hammer. No, he's Lee George Cade, everybody.
And my new limited series is coming out on Peacock next week. Jack Hammer, Private Eye.
It'll last a season and a half,
Yeah.
I predict.
Are you just, is it the younger brother of Sledgehammer?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I liked Sledgehammer.
that
That was
Fred-
just for you guys.
Was that Fred?
Because I knew that somebody wouldn't get it.
Was that Fred Dwyer?
Crap. Now I'm going to have to look it up.
I
Our
forgot his
host.
name. Oh,
Dr. Kerry Jackson.
hi there, everybody.
Doctor.
I'm Monday through Friday, 6 to 10, x96.com. I'm back on Monday.
Wow.
All right.
Let's.
Woot woot.
Yeah, it
David
was
Rash.
David Rash, thank you. It was a forced spring break, Rebecca. It was my partners announced we're leaving town. Oh, I can't exactly do this. I guess I could come in and play music.
You
I
could
suppose,
have.
but-
It was the kid's 18th birthday. It makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. All right,
Sorry, David Rash played Sledgehammer. I was completely wrong.
David Rash.
Yeah.
Okay. Look up Sledgehammer, kids. It's probably on the YouTube. All right, here we go. Let's begin. We got 2 kind of cool looking trailers this week. The first one is the Star Wars. And let's watch these in the after party, shall we?
Only if someone who has the right gear can do that for us.
Well, maybe we won't.
It's
then.
not. It's not I.
I don't have the Tony Nui What's.
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
can't make it go. I'm not smart.
We can. Here's what we can do. We can watch it. Tell everybody at home. Okay, push play now, and follow along.
Pretty cool trailer though. It is the sequel to Star Wars Tales of the Jedi. It's called Tales of the Empire, and it's coming sooner than you expected. Well, May 4th, of course. It will debut on your Disney Plus. And here's what the press release is calling it: the second installment of the Tales series, suggesting maybe there's going to be more. I don't know.
What's beyond Jedi and Empire?
Ooh,
Gungans.
Tales of the Mos Eisley Cantina, please.
Oh.
Yes.
Please.
I just want that Jawa sniper. That's all I need.
Yes, the
You get
Renegade
Tales of the
Jawa.
Outer Rim.
Yeah, there's a lot you could do. Anyway, Tales of the Jedi followed 2 Jedi paths, Count Dooku and Ahsoka Tano. Tales of the Empire will follow 2 characters from different eras. Morgan Elsbeth.
We know her.
Voiced by Diana Lee Inosanto. And Barris Offee, voiced by Meredith Salinger, Mrs. Patton Oswalt. Let's see. They'll be joined by several other prominent Star Wars characters, such as Grand Admiral Thrawn, the Grand Inquisitor, Jason Isaacs. General Grievous is going to be there.
Kenobi.
So, yeah, all of
Why
the...
does a robot cough?
Because he's not a robot. He's a cyborg.
What?
He used to be.
Once again,
he used
ask
to
the
be
question.
He used to be a fleshy person like you and me.
And then they put his innards in that robot body.
Yes.
And he was a smoker,
Cough, huh?
Also, it's established George Lucas hates asthmatics.
I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, Morgan's side of Tales of the Empire is going to explain her Night Sister backstory, which was revealed on Ahsoka. Apparently, she was there during the events of the massacre. The Clone Wars episode where Dooku orders Grievous to wipe out the Night Sisters and sets Ventress off on her path to become a bounty hunter. So you're going to see that.
Not a good episode to show little kids because
No.
the zombie Night Sisters are freaky AF.
Yeah. Then the Barris side of Tales investigates the rise of the Inquisitorius and her apparent part in it, and includes characters from Rebels, the Grand Inquisitor, Obi-Wan, the Fourth Sister, and Ahsoka, Marok. And you'll get more Marok.
Well, because Barris is the one that set Ahsoka up to take the fall for some bad things that she had done in the last season of Clone Wars. So we'll be able to see the continuation of that.
Oh, now
And-
Bug Hunter says that it's because Mace Windu crushed his chest.
That
and
is
that's
not
why-
canon.
That's not canon? Okay.
No, that was in the.
Whatever you want canon to be.
Well, let it be
Whatever
what you want it to
heart.
be, but that was in the Gendy Tartakovsky Clone Wars cartoon.
So they said this is the second of the Tales series,
Yeah. There
which
was
means
Tales.
the Tailspin was not part of this series.
Should have
No.
been.
Goodness gracious.
And neither
Robert,
was the Tales of Duck. Oh, woo.
I need that, though.
What about Tales from the Crypt?
Hello,
Or the dark
kitties.
side.
Yeah. All right. Let's see another trailer that we got today. I know Lee was excited about this trailer.
Dead Boy Detectives.
It looks kind of cool, doesn't it?
They were on the Doom Patrols,
Doom Patrol.
remember?
Yes, and
Yeah.
I love that the headline of this story, the way it's written for Lee. So if you're into sci-fi oddities, tall, skinny young men, My Chemical Romance, and Neil Gaiman, this is for you.
All things I'm in. All
not
things I
wrong.
enjoy.
Yes,
Sorry, gonna be a hater here.
probably.
Not for me.
Yep. Netflix has revealed that Dead Boy Detectives, new show based on Neil Gaiman's characters that debuted in Sandman and have since appeared across his works. They're ghosts who have rejected the afterlife in favor of an existence helping other ghosts solve their deaths.
Yeah, their clients are dead.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
So they see dead people. They're everywhere.
They are dead people, but tiptoeing on that line between life and death doesn't make them any friends who are dead. Thankfully, they do make some who are living. It starts out, looking like just a Netflix show, and then it gets kind of weird.
and it's death, and it's the same death from the Sandman series. Mm-hmm. So I'm so happy.
Show run by Steve Yockey, who did The Flight Attendant and Supernatural, and Beth Schwartz, who did Sweet Tooth and Arrow. Like Sweet
Flight
Tooth.
Attendant's so good.
Yes. Dead Boy Detectives part of the Sandman universe, meaning that the characters could potentially show up in other Gaiman fare, such as, Sandman Season 2, hopefully. But I guess that all depends on how many views it gets, is what I'm thinking.
Getting 100,000 from me.
You've already shot it up there.
Yep.
But April 25th, very
Nice.
soon, is when that debuts, just for you.
It threw the kid into almost a state of apoplexy because they couldn't figure out what cut of Black Parade was going on, and this child is an MCR scholar.
Oh, really?
boy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they're just like, but no, I've not heard this. I'm like, well, sometimes they remix things.
They do.
What's their favorite float in the Black Parade?
Or
The
their favorite
Kentucky
marching
Fried
band.
Chicken one. It's the
Woody.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
it's Woody Doompecker.
Thank you. Thank you, Lee. Just a sec. Got to write down Woody Doompecker.
Woody Doompecker.
All right.
He's the float of your doom.
Let's do some quick housekeeping here. Tony is not with us. He is on assignment with...
No, he quit the show.
Oh my god. I can't
Yeah, but
handle
what?
this.
Please, for Rebecca's sake, Tony didn't quit the show.
He quit.
Jay has not quit the show. He just can't make it, and he was going to be here, but then a flight got changed, so his job
Yep.
is weird. So
Tony and Jay got married
Yeah.
and quit the show.
he was going to be here today, but
That's
due
their
to
story to
circumstance-
tell, Lee.
Oh.
Not yours.
Exactly. Don't you know these things?
Bad ally.
Speaking of Lee, good ally, Lee George Cade. There it is. There's the Venmo.
I'm crossing my eyes. Is it a sailing ship?
Are we at the $1 million mark yet, Lee?
No.
We're close.
Yeah, like
aren't
if we had a thermometer on a piece of like big paper and we were coloring it in with marker, how much color do we have?
Let's just say I could live in Carrie's neighborhood.
Wow.
Moving on
could've-
to the east side.
You could have had a cool neighbor, Carrie.
I wish I had a cool.
Yeah.
I got one right across the street, and that's
I was
it.
gonna
you
say,
imagine?
Aren't your across the street neighbors pretty cool?
Yeah, they're very cool. Everyone else around me, well,
Yep.
but there is a white family down here that I really quite like. No, their last name is White.
Lee's Venmo.
wait,
Anyway,
everybody.
Lee's Venmo. Right there. You okay, Rob? All right.
Tell me more about the white people.
Oh, they're delightful. They have parties. Anyway, that's to help Lee out with his medical bills because his insides are trying to kill him.
Hey,
And,
I do have an appointment with a surgeon on Wednesday.
Oh, keep us
Yeah.
posted. Let us know.
Yeah.
So that'll be for his next surgery. He's now strong enough for yet another surgery. So any little bit helps. Just go to any of our social medias or click on that when you see it here on the YouTube.
I think that's my new sign off is there's a white family down the street. Thank you, Carrie.
There is.
I
yeah.
appreciate that.
Geekshow.store is still up and running where you can buy our stuff. And
I hear that fashion doll T-shirt is leaving soon.
Guys, it's so
who do I
soon.
call? Who do I call?
So soon.
Because we need to take it down and replace it with something else.
You call
I'm telling you,
t-shirt.com.
Star Trek show.
I
Star
don't know.
Trek shirt.
Yeah, we need a space show shirt of some kind. Anyway, but I thank you for sending me pictures of you in our gear in various places around the world. I appreciate that, and thank you. Also, our Patreon, geekshowgotthiscovered.com is the link to our Patreon where you can get the. It's very affordable. You can be a friend of the program or a true believer. $3.50. Come on, $3.50. That's affordable.
And considering inflation,
Yeah, we haven't raised our prices at all since we started the Patreon.
Exactly.
We're like the Costco man and his hot dog. You will never see that get higher.
We-
than
Probably not.
$1.50.
We've been this price since before the pandemic.
Yeah. Charles, if you have an idea for a Space Show shirt, let us know. Let's see. Also, our Patreon, geekshowgotthiscovered.com, takes you right there. You get the Space Show early. You get the after party, which we do right after this show, which is very specialized, I would say. It's not as...
And last week really got people excited. So,
we got a lot of response from last week's, and we're gonna follow that up. The topics that we talked about, we're gonna follow that up. Want to know what we're talking about? Join us. And more videos coming this week. I'm sorry, I was off this week, and so I was relaxing, doing this thing called relaxing.
He was on spring break.
Yeah, so
What is the
I'll
spring break?
get you videos this week. Some more time closet videos. All right. Okay, let's get to the news and the latest outrage.
Okay, everyone, just like be cool, okay?
Yeah, the latest outrage. There she is, Shalabal. I think she looks great. This is Matt Shackman directing the Fantastic Four. Will feature Julia Garner as Shalabal, the version of the classic character, the Silver Surfer.
No.
I have opinions. I
No.
have opinions, and they're not bad opinions. I think
No, I'm
it's a
just
great thing.
seriously. You're casting this woman, and you could have had like a whole list of Chroma Sapiens out there, people of metal.
I'm not really familiar with Shalabal. Wasn't
Really?
she Noran Rad's lover?
Girlfriend. Yes.
Girlfriend, yes.
Yes.
And
so basically,
he
he left her to become Galactus's herald.
he became the Surfer. And then when did she become the Surfer?
She never did.
She never did.
No. So there have
Oh,
been,
so
however,
when-
been
I
two
see.
other female heralds.
Heralds.
And
Yeah.
I think it would have been better to have made her Nova
Nova's the
who was-
fire-based one, right?
She was the fire-based one who was a ex-girlfriend of Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four.
Yes. Okay.
Or there was another one named Stardust, and I don't know much about her background.
Well, and there was also Aunt May.
Oh, there was Aunt May as
Aunt May
Golden
was-
Oldie.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
insane.
That was a what if or something, wasn't it?
It was
Yeah.
it was an Assistant Editor's Month story that Franklin had a dream that she was babysitting him and then became the Herald of Galactus.
Okay.
It's like when Loxana and Alexander went out for mud baths.
Okay. I remember that. Thank you. Silver Surfer was introduced in, we'll get to that list here in a moment. Garner, 3-time Emmy winner
Oh, she's awesome.
for the
I,
series Ozark.
Did you watch
So-
Ozark?
No.
I hear
Oh.
she's fantastic in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I messaged Bill Frost, my father, and I
Yes.
said, "Hey, years and years and years ago, when Marvel movies were first like starting to become a thing, I asked you what comic book character you'd like to see in a movie," and he said Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
And so I messaged him, and I was like, "Hey, friendly reminder, years and years and years ago, I asked you the question. You said Silver Surfer. What are your thoughts on Julia Garner?" And he says she's great. So it's already better than Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. Can't wait
Yeah.
to see it. And then he follows it up with related. I'd also love a Fantastic Four movie that doesn't suck. So
Yep.
Yeah, for a change. And I feel pretty good about this one.
So you need to watch Ozark, Carrie, is what you need to do.
I guess I do. I keep hearing good things
No,
about it.
like Jason Bateman playing a bad guy is really
I
interesting.
like Jason
it's
Bateman.
It's his Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a very good show, and she's freaking amazing in it.
Well, I think she's going to be great as the Silver Surfer. I don't, again, that part of the internet is upset. But
Like it's so
Like they do.
It's so buck wild to me that we've been making these movies for over 10 years now, and people are still
15.
insane. Like I check Facebook once a day. I don't interact on it or anything, but I just like to look. And there was someone on Facebook who is a comics creator. I'm not going to name who, but they were like upset at Woman Silver Surfer and calling Disney woke. And I'm like, it is the year of our Lord 2024. How are we still pissy about this?
I
Well,
know.
according to Bob Iger, most people don't know what woke means.
Well, no, he
Let
said
me tell you.
He said, "I'm not sure what woke means." you know.
Well, of course not. He's old.
But
It's like porn. I know it when I see it.
woke has just become now a term that those people use
Woke
Yep.
and
for
DEI.
for
do you
things.
mean those people, Carrie?
You know what I mean? That family down the street.
The white family.
No, that's just become a term for something that they're afraid of, something that threatens their sense of straightness and whiteness.
That
you know,
it's
I'm-
different.
yeah.
I'm just gonna table all of this until after the eclipse, and if we survive that, then I'll
You
come
guys know
back.
they're also booting up like the particle accelerator on April 8th as well.
Like you're supposed to.
Like they didn't watch Three Roddy Problem.
I do have a quick question though, now that I think about it. Does this mean that the way that certain people have co-opted woke, does that qualify as cultural appropriation?
It should.
Okay.
My
because I'm just
culture
kind of
is
like,
not
where
your
did it-
costume.
Because I'm just kind of like, didn't we originate that term? I think we did.
Yes. Frankly, I don't know why these guys are upset that they're going to get a naked silver lady. I don't understand the problem.
You would think that a
I
bunch would
wanted
be
to
like,
see
oh, this is
silver
cool.
dong. I wanted to see a silver Ken doll right around my screen.
Which you did see, but it was Doug Jones, so it was kind of creepy.
Yeah. And as
But
always,
he was voiced by Lawrence Fishburne at least.
Yeah.
as
Oh, was
always, our motto is show me what you got. So, all right. Now, Marvel would like you to read these Fantastic Four comics before the movie. You can
So-
go online and find these, but I got a list here.
So before you get to that list, I want to
Yes.
take you down this fun rabbit hole that I discovered as I was putting this together.
Okay.
So from Twitter, this is the photo that
Yes.
is on Twitter. It was on 4/4, and then a link, and that link takes you here. 1 second.
Oh, 404, page not found. Herbie
Maybe
the
Invisible
Robot.
Woman has hidden the page, or maybe try later, or maybe there's more to this page and a fun QR code right over here. That QR code then takes you to this page.
Yes. Delegates, we're glad you could join us. To prepare for the upcoming meeting, you've been granted access to read these issues on Marvel Unlimited for free. So these are the ones that they want you to read. There's Fantastic Four #1, of course, the original. Fantastic Four 48. Now, in 48, we see them fresh off of a fight with the Inhumans Maximus, Black Bolt's insane brother, and they're visited by the Watcher with a dire warning. His attempts to hide Earth from the mysterious Silver Surfer have failed, and the Surfer's arrival heralds coming of Galactus. This is the very first appearance of both of these characters. And then they say, Fantastic Four 49, Galactus arrives on Earth, makes his plan to consume it, and while the Watcher and the Fantastic Four struggle to fight this foe, the Silver Surfer crosses path with Alicia Masters and realizes that maybe his master's plans are worth questioning. A continuation of the debut Galactus story. This issue has a spotlight on Alicia Masters, who eventually becomes Ben Grimm's love interest and partner. And it's her sympathy to the Surfer that inspires the Surfer to turn his back on being Galactus's herald in that issue. Then Fantastic Four 50, the conclusion of Galactus's debut. After the Surfer fails to stop his master, Johnny Storm returns from his mission from Uatu, the Watcher, to secure the Ultimate Nullifier, a weapon of vast power designed by the Watchers eons ago from Galactus's homeworld. Threatened by its power, Galactus agrees to the Fantastic Four's demand to leave Earth alone, but not before he punishes his herald by stripping him of his title and exiling him to Earth. So, they're really, if they want you to read these before the movies, this is going to be a big film. And then finally, Fantastic Four Life Story #1, which was released in 2021. It's the newer one of all these comics. And it basically, the Life Story series, because they did Spider-Man Life Story, and all it is it's a look into the idea and tone that might inspire the movie. It follows the Fantastic Four in real time, decade by decade, from their origin in the 60s all the way to the 2010s. And what normally would have been a 60 years of comic book, it reboots and slides time scales, updates it basically. So the first issue has a very 60s vibe, so that's what they want you to read.
Because also look at this design down here.
MasterCard?
Yeah, it's very 60s.
That is very MasterCard, isn't it?
But the great thing here is, thank you. I wanted you to go to the top of that, the Future Foundation. So about 10-ish years ago, the Fantastic Four decided we can do more to help people in general rather than just going off to the negative zone every 2 minutes. And they started a foundation called the Future Foundation with a bunch of kids, like young characters throughout the MCU, and including a couple of characters from different comic books. And it's like a science foundation and a think tank. And at one point they had Peter Parker as a member. They changed all of their uniforms to white and black for just a unified look for everybody. So I'm glad to see that they're using the Future Foundation actively to promote this.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that's going to be a part of the Young Avengers that they seem to be setting up? I don't know if they're going to continue down that route.
They're setting it up.
I hope so.
But I don't know if but the Future Foundation isn't like a training program for heroes. It's literally just a think tank. So it's the chess club for superhero kids.
Didn't Mike Allred draw those?
No, Mike Allred drew.
Oh, he did a Silver Surfer
F-Bat.
relaunch.
He did a Silver Surfer relaunch. He also did a series of the Fantastic Four starring Ant-Man, Darla Deering, She-Hulk, and crap, I can't remember who the fourth member was. Medusa.
Medusa.
Yes. I kind of feel like, well, okay, if we're going to tie it into Young Avengers, I feel like we have an opportunity because Cassie Lang, big science gal, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this is an opportunity to tie her, like, the potential tie-in comes, like, I think through Cassie Lang, maybe.
Could be.
Or Ms. Marvel, because you remember at the end of, was it Marvels? Yeah, at the end of Marvels, she shows up at Hawkeye's apartment. My Hawkeye.
Yes. But they're not science-y.
They're not.
No. And Cassie, I guess Cassie kind of is in Quantum Mania. She was working with Hank, so
she worked with Hank. And
Cassie's whole deal is like she was figuring out a way to get to the quantum realm.
Yeah, and she became Stature.
Stature, yeah.
Anyway, it's going to be interesting to see. Show me what you got. This is going to be a big film. Eric is wondering, are we going to get a live-action Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher? I saw a news story about that. I don't like the source, so I'm waiting for confirmation on that.
Did you also see it on Discussing Film?
Yeah, I don't like the source.
Gutter Puddle, it's not a Sony production.
Yeah.
The rights belong solely to Marvel now.
Yeah. This is it's going to be interesting. And about those other sites, be careful what you believe out there, because as we've learned, the fake stuff is what gets it clicks, and clicks get you money, and so they're more than happy to lie to you, folks.
I saw another tweet that posted a potential spoiler for the plot of the movie, and it's so far out that I'm like, I don't know if I can believe this.
My philosophy on this show has always been, I'd rather be right and last with information than wrong and first, and that's why I'm not getting the clicks, and that's why I'm not getting the money. That Alex Jones money,
If you see the word reportedly, run away.
Just run away. Yeah.
Green Boy Latinum, Gold Press Latinum.
Yes.
5 bars.
More news. Some Star Wars news, and this is very exciting. I'm very excited about this because when I heard James Mangold was making a Star Wars, I was very excited. But then I found out who's writing the James Mangold Star Wars.
The man responsible for the world's saddest robot.
Marvin?
No, sadder than Marvin.
This
guy
this
right
fella.
there. No, this is. Let me find his name here.
Marva.
Bo Willimon is writing the script for the what is tentatively referred to as Star Wars: Dawn of the Jedi, and Mangold is going to start working on that movie after he gets finished with this Timothy Chalamet Bob Dylan biopic.
So this Bo Willimon, he's the guy responsible not only for the world's saddest robot over here, but also that fantastic monologue from Mr. Skarsgård about how he's building a future for a sunrise that he will never see.
He wrote that, and he wrote the escape
one way out. Yeah.
One way out speech. So if he's writing a Star Wars, I'm there. I will be in line for that one. So that's your latest news. But this one takes place, let's see, thousands of years before any of the films.
Thousands?
So even longer ago.
That's what it says here, yeah.
We haven't even talked about the discourse from when the Acolyte trailer came out and how people aren't necessarily piecing together that it takes place 1,000 years before the prequels.
Well, not only that, there's people that are it's a few hundred years before the prequels, but they're losing their mind because the director said something about men that didn't jive well with them, so they're just losing their minds. Because the funniest thing about this group of people that complains about Michael Burnham crying too much is they've been fucking crying about Michael Burnham for 5 goddamn years.
Yeah,
I don't think people like Star Wars.
I don't think people like anything. They just like complaining.
More news. We got a director for Supergirl. It is
Farmer Hoggett?
Craig Gillespie. He directed a couple of very interesting projects. I, Tonya, about Tonya Harding, and Cruella, which I quite enjoyed, actually. I didn't think I would, but I quite enjoyed it.
Cruella was fine.
A stylistic triumph.
Yeah,
a stylistic triumph. I personally don't think we need movies about Disney villains, but Cruella to look at and costume design wise, absolutely stunning and beautiful.
It's a great soundtrack too.
This looks like Mobius art. This was really good.
Yeah,
that artwork is stunning.
So
I think it's Bilquis. Crud.
Well, I know it's not Mobius, but
it's Bilquis somebody, and that is her style, and
that is gorgeous.
He also worked on Dumb Money, the GameStop movie, and TV's Pam and Tommy.
I liked that show.
So there you go. This is there's your director for Supergirl. So take that as it will. Now this next one, I was like, do we need another? But this was his idea. Drew
Of course.
Goddard.
Of course it was his idea. Here's the thing about Drew Goddard. Drew Goddard is the McDonald's of filmmakers, right? He is just like ever present, never horrible, but
Yeah.
he's just like he's always doing stuff.
He, he did The Martian, Cabin in the Woods, World
Cabin
War
in
Z.
the Woods. He did Bad Times at the El Royale.
But
Yeah.
also look at the rest of his IMDb like filmography. The man does he's got hits here and there, right? But he also does
Like a McRib.
a bajillion other exactly. He's got his McRibs, he's got his quarter pounders, he's got his egg McMuffin and hash browns. But he does the man. He's one of those where I'm like he does too much.
World War Z. Yeah, but Bad Times at the
Good
El
movie, they
Royale
should have named it
is
something
amazing.
else.
Yeah.
World War Z. Read the book, and it is nothing like the
No.
book is even better.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Starship Troopers. Got it.
So Warner Brothers Pictures president of production Jesse Ehrman said he came to us with a new idea that we all believe would be an incredible way to continue the Matrix world by both honoring what Lana and Lily did 25 years ago and offering a unique perspective based on his own love of the series and characters. So
because also this week they announced a Legally Blonde spinoff.
yes,
Begging
Series.
for some original content. I'm
I'm
dying for something new.
It's so funny because I'm going through Drew Goddard stuff, and I'm like, okay, half of it's forgettable, but then you get Cloverfield, Cabin in the Woods, and Bad Times at the El Royale, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm watching those 3 movies today.
yeah.
Yeah,
because they're that good.
He's got hits, but at the same time, like I said, he's just
Yeah.
always doing stuff.
So he's
Yeah.
inconsistent.
So we'll see what happens with this. We'll keep an eye on it. The other project that was announced this time around, it was a character I was not familiar with, and then I read the premise.
It's a Matthew Sweet song.
Yeah, I read the premise of the story, and I went, oh, intriguing, because it's, the devil and God and heaven and all that classic stuff.
And 90s women's clothing from comic books.
Yeah, that's got to go.
There's that.
Well, it's Rob Liefeld, so.
Yeah.
But Olivia Wilde is attached to direct an adaptation of Evangelene for Margot Robbie's production company, Lucky Chap. Now, as far as we know, she's not going to star in it. Neither one of them are going to star in it.
So that's fine. Margot Robbie as a producer is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Olivia Wilde, she's on thin ice because Booksmart, her directorial debut was amazing. And then she did Don't Worry Darling, which I don't know if you remember.
I
The
remember.
Don't Worry Darling.
You didn't like it.
It's called Going Down, the motion picture.
It's the problem was she got there was so much drama that surrounded the production of the film, and I think she as a director was just totally blinded by Harry Styles' dick that she didn't really put that much effort into making a good movie. So
okay.
so I'm willing to give her another shot with this if Margot Robbie's producing.
If you're not familiar with the story, it concerns an angel who fights the forces of evil and often finds herself face to face with demons and monsters. She was the most feared warrior in Heaven's war host, having single-handedly broke into Pandemonium, the outer fortress of hell, to confront the devil himself. She is a fallen angel banished from heaven by God after being tricked into questioning his love for humans. Evangeline was stripped of all of her angelic abilities other than her great strength and her blood, which once extracted from her body could be used as a weapon or a miracle once empowered by quoting verses from the Bible. Evangeline uses her powers to fight demons on Earth and is being groomed to be humankind's last hope to a coming Armageddon.
On Matthew Sweet's album Girlfriend, he wrote a song called Evangeline because he couldn't get the rights to Evangeline. But it's literally about this character because he was struggling with religion, so he decided he was in love with the comic book character.
I kind of like that stuff when they play with sacred texts. That's kind of why I like Lucifer so much.
Lucifer.
Lucifer. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what goes on here. I mean, it doesn't have a movie studio yet. They're going to shop it around. They're putting it together and shopping it around. So where it'll wind up, we don't know.
I say good luck.
I think honestly, thank you, Margot Robbie, for being willing to give Olivia Wilde another chance.
Mm-hmm.
Because I kind of wonder if Olivia Wilde is one of those names where if you are a studio or a producer, you see her name come across your desk, you're gonna be like, oh no, thank you. Drama follows this woman.
But if you don't follow any of that drama, like I didn't know any of this stuff until you were talking about it based off of when that movie was coming out, and I was like, okay, well, if you're not on that part of the internet, you don't know anything about Olivia Wilde and her drama, So
Yeah, it is said that she is the reason that the marriage didn't work.
oh,
With
I believe it.
Ted Lasso.
They technically never got married.
Oh, that's right. Okay, but they.
I'm gonna be pedantic about it.
I wasn't there, so I don't have an opinion.
All right.
Carrie, we need to watch Paul Bettany's amazing 2010 movie Legion, where he plays a.
Yeah, my
I did.
husband watched that a couple of months ago.
We need to watch it right now.
I watched
in the
it.
after party. We're gonna
Yeah.
watch it.
Paul Bettany's got a 12-pack in that movie.
And
Oh, he looked great
tattoos.
in that movie, and
Yeah.
and I actually kind of like there was a TV series along as well,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
quite like the TV
Different
series.
Legion. Different Legion.
Yeah. Anyway, this is a nice little change here. Yes, there's some of it. You can go on YouTube and search Roddenberry Archive Deep Space Nine: The World According to Quark. You will get now. This works with your. Let me see if I can find this here. It works on your Apple Vision Pro as well. So if you have that,
Oh, get one of those.
so you can do that. But it's a virtual tour in the Roddenberry Archive. They've got a whole bunch of virtual reality set tours for the Apple Vision Pro, but they're also on YouTube for us lamos that don't have that.
I thought this was real, and that I could just go there and visit and walk around crying.
One of the first virtual tours was inside the Akatinga battle cruiser from the opening of the motion picture. But now they've done Deep Space Nine's station. And what's also cool about this is Armin Shimmerman narrates it and talks about some of the things that are there, And yes, they saved the bar for last.
Good.
So Lee, I have an idea. We just put it on a giant screen TV.
Yeah.
I'll put on my Cisco costume. You can put on your Pike costume, and we can just push you around the
And I'll go.
VR.
Yeah, and when we stop, and you'll be like,
Why
"Do you like
guys
this?"
Keep making
You'll be like-
jokes at
you're like-
his expense.
You're like, "Pike, do you like this?" I'm like, "Boop, boop,
Guys.
boop, boop."
But I mean, he has some interesting insight on the design and the history and how the set was used. And I didn't know it took up an entire soundstage.
I mean,
But,
look at it.
Jacob's-
It's huge.
Jacob in the comments is absolutely right. A simple tailor does indeed work there.
Yes,
All references that I'm sure are very funny.
Oh, 5 more weeks, Rebecca.
that's true. Anyway, so you can go on YouTube and watch that.
It is not 5 more weeks. We're not.
Fi-
The way the social
15
show works is we're not
15
doing it concurrently.
Okay, 15 more weeks.
Is that the math?
6 more years.
Because after next gen, then we have to watch all the next gen movies, right? Is
Yeah.
that how we're doing it?
Oh, well,
I
there's
was
only
I was asked if we were going to do DS9 and TNG concurrently, and I was like, no, I have a very strict
that would be really hard.
TNG
Yeah.
movies and then DS9.
Yeah. So
So
there's only 2 TNG movies. So it's real easy.
I'm sorry, but Lee, you missed it. But Carrie and I watched all of the animated series. Like,
Yeah,
we're
the-
watching all of the bad stuff
Yeah,
too.
I seriously gave myself pancreatitis just so I didn't have to watch that with you.
That was wise, actually. You have vision, sir.
Yeah. Oh, I had visions. That's oxycodone will do that to you.
Then finally this, and then we'll get to what we consumed this week. Let's see. This is kind of sad. Chance Perdomo from
This one
Gen B.
stinks.
So sad.
Like this one really sucks.
He died motorcycle accident.
Ah,
Yeah.
This really sucks. He was phenomenal. I loved him so much.
he even made that Stinky Sabrina show okay to watch.
Yeah.
He was the only reason I watched that Stinky
Well,
Sabrina show.
my wife watched it for the cat.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
You gotta watch it for the cat. And he was Andrew Anderson in Gen V on Prime Video. And so what's going to happen there? I don't know. Amazon planned on starting production on Gen V this month. That's now been
Oh,
paused
man.
indefinitely, so that they
Yeah,
can
he
figure things out. So the question is, do they write him off or recast him?
I kind of hope. I mean, well, that's what sucks is he had a very crucial role in Gen V.
Yeah. He
But
was like the lead. I mean,
I don't think it would be difficult to kill him off.
well, I mean,
It would just suck. It would
yeah.
suck. It would just suck.
It would suck.
because he was awesome. He was
Or they could
great.
just pull a Terrence Howard, Don Cheadle.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
but
Yeah,
Terrence
Don,
Howard didn't
I'm
die.
I'm sure Don Cheadle wants to play a 22-year-old kid.
Yeah,
Don Cheadle could pull it off.
Don
He
Cheadle.
could.
Don Cheadle
Yeah.
does not have the charm. I mean, Don Cheadle is very charming.
You shut
but
your
he's-
mouth.
This guy was so charming. Though.
He really was.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway,
Don Cheadle was a scroll the whole time.
Don Cheadle.
Let's just talk about
I
that.
I need to finish. I need to finish Nick Fury. Do I have to?
No,
I
I
enjoyed it.
didn't.
I
gave
enjoyed
up.
it. It was
I
how Nick
enjoyed
Fury got his groove back. It was not perfect,
Yeah.
but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it had a lot of fun stuff in there. Anyway,
Yes.
what did we consume this week? I know Lee said that there was too much good TV.
Too much for me. I made decisions, and some of those decisions were influenced by a Geek Show viewer. Who was it last week?
Kyle.
Kyle
Kyle.
Volte. Kyle was for several weeks single-handedly campaigning for Renegade Nail, and thank you, Kyle, because that show is a GD delight. I love it so much. Like, I've been now banging the drum and proselytizing as well, because you got Orla from Dairy Girls, and she's a highway woman who's gone to a life of crime to avenge her puppy. And then sometimes Coach Nate flies down her throat and gives her superpowers. There you go.
Not a
There you go.
euphemism. Not a
Nope.
euphemism.
Nope. But it's so well done, and there's some really cool monsters and some really cool effects, and it's just fun. And the soundtrack is just like, you want to get up and fight things when she's fighting things. So you're like, oh no, my fists hurt because I've been punching the wall instead of demons. So you don't do that.
So
Don't
I
do
guess
what I did.
Well, I think what we're getting here is Lee likes the show.
I love the
He
show.
likes the show. There,
I love the
Thank
show. And my wife won't, like, this has been her week because her friends came back this week. And by her friends, I mean Discovery, her Star Trek. She likes all Star Trek, but Discovery.
Watch it.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
She just,
Let
I
me watch new Star Trek.
you. This monster is your creation, Rebecca.
love the audacity of Discovery. I love the time frame that it's set in. I love the characters. It's weird because the first couple seasons, my complaint was that it was the Michael Burnham show and not like, here's these potentially cool background characters. Show me more, right? And now that we know them, I love them and they're amazing. So watched an episode of Next Generation where they went to Planet Hair Product. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
And
Oh my god.
we'll talk about it on the Space Show show.
and sat down and got caught up on Abbott Elementary, the single best comedy on television right now.
It's
Great
so
little
good.
show, isn't it?
It is. I'm glad they're letting the janitor talk more because he is so funny. And the Career Day episode where he's just talking about, his time in the CIA and all that other stuff, and I'm just like almost in tears because I'm laughing so hard because my dad. There are elements of
Janitor in the CIA.
yeah, possibly like
Can't talk about it.
there's stories. Yeah. So too much. I watched a lot of these 4 shows.
All right. Who's next then? Rod, you
I'll
want to
go.
go?
Yeah. I much like Lee was like, all right, let's try this Renegade Nell show, and was immediately hooked, and decided to watch it with the family. So it was the wife and the kids, and the girls were just like, after the first episode, my wife was like, so would you watch this again? And they're just like, yeah. So we've been watching that, and they've been enjoying it, and it is a ton of fun. And Adrian Lester is the Count, or the Dark Force figure. I am enjoying the
good.
hell out of him.
Yeah.
So much.
He's not
but
eating
entire
the scenery.
cast-
He's just gently sampling it.
Yes, and it's fantastic because nobody's doing too much, and it's been great. It's been fun.
Yeah.
I've also watched 2 episodes of Disco, and it was just like, oh, thank you for bringing this back. I know it's only 10 episodes, but give them to me. And I'm sorry, Commander. Not sorry.
I think you're going to love it when you get to it. That's all I can
know
say.
I will.
Yeah.
And they've introduced a new character that, much like another character, I didn't like when they were introduced.
Yep. Same exact reaction.
I'm just like,
And I was
oh,
like, oh, this is a Liam Shaw lesson I just had.
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like, okay, this is a thing. But it's been, it's been fun to watch. And then also X-Men 97 episode 4 did such a good job of compressing and condensing and telling the story Life Death.
Yeah.
Because I went back and reread it after seeing the episode, and they got so much right in that episode, including the costumes that the characters are wearing. I was just like, oh, they put Storm in the white overall outfit. I'm like, wait, that looks familiar. It's the outfit, and I'm just like, yes. And I think they did a better job of telling this story in a condensed form because they only used half the episode for it than they did doing Inferno. And granted, that's like 36 issues of Inferno versus an issue and a half of Life Death. But they did such a good job with that. And then we got War Games X-Men style, basically.
So
with
fun.
Jubilee and Sunspot trapped in the X-Men 80s game. And I'm having a ball with that. So I'm going to be recreating some of that in action figure form this week.
Oh, so watch his socials. Watch Robert's
So yeah, so
socials.
keep an eye on Action Figure Theater. Speaking of which, today is International Pillow Fight Day, and I haven't done today's picture yet. So, if you want to, you could have you could be the impetus behind today's picture of who would you like to see pillow fighting. Pick 2 characters, Marvel, DC, some independent, some movie, and I'll see if I can make it happen.
All right.
Do you think there was a bill that passed that made that like official?
I doubt it, but it still makes me my inner fiend grin every time.
Rebecca Frost, what did you see this week?
Okay. Watched a few movies this week. So last week I started Ricky Stinicky. I wish Tony was here. Started Ricky Stinicky and then I fell asleep. And so then last night I finished Ricky Stinicky. And I believe I mentioned it before. I saw a review that said John Cena gives a 5-star performance in an otherwise 2-star movie. So Ricky Stinicky, if you don't know what it's about, where to begin? Zac Efron is there and he has friends, and growing up, they invented this person named Ricky Stinicky who would always take the fall for them when they got in trouble. And then as adults, they kind of use Ricky Stinicky as this like excuse to go do things without really. So like they go to Dollywood and like they go to all of these events and say, oh, Ricky Stinicky, he's getting like he's going to surgery, so we got to be there.
His
for him.
cancer, he has, yeah.
Yeah, and it comes down to everybody wants to meet Ricky Stinicky, so they hire this man, John Cena, who is Rock Hard Rod, I think is his name, but he has a show in Vegas where he makes dick joke versions of songs, essentially. And so they hire him, and John Cena gets way too into it and actually becomes Ricky Stinicky. Hilarity ensues. Kind of.
Hilarity with John Cena ensues.
Hilarity with John Cena ensues. John Cena, I love it. I do not ever want the other shoe to drop on him. Please, for the love of God, let him be perfect forever. But yeah, also 2 out of 5 stars because it ends too.
Clean.
It ends too clean. If they made this movie back in 2002, wildly different movie.
Yeah.
But because it's 2023, 2024, it is way too clean.
There is a sight gag in that movie though that works so well because it's like you get 7 or 8 of these 80s masturbation montage songs of him in full costume playing all these different singers from the 80s, and then they cut to him in Britney Spears costume from Hit Me Baby One More Time. No explanation, no song, no anything,
Nope.
just him
He's just
climbing
in
out
the
a window
costume.
and running. And it's just like it's a flawless sight gag. So
Watch it for John Cena, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Movies that came out this week, or last week when this comes out in your audio format. The First Omen, a prequel to The Omen.
Okay.
What can you say about a prequel to The Omen?
What
Except
can I
it's be crazy.
what can I
it
say
good?
except I turned on my Disney Plus and there was Watch the Omen, and I'm like,
That's
Whoa.
the crazy thing about the way that all of these companies are organized now. The First Omen, technically a Disney movie, because it's released by the Disney studio.
yeah,
As
Anyway,
a horror movie,
yes,
fantastic visuals, awesome score. Like, this movie goes really big with its visual effects, and icky parts.
Okay.
A lot of like scenes that will actually like stick with me, and like they do a very fantastic job with the visual aspect of it. Otherwise, like
You just didn't
Catholics
care.
be crazy.
Yeah.
I personally always struggle with like a nun-based horror, and I think it's just because I never grew up Catholic, and I kind of think the market is saturated with nun-based horror. Um, two out of five.
Okay.
If you like horror, if you like The Omen, I'm interested in the world that it kind of set up. I've never seen the first Omen, so I'd be curious
Oh.
to know how this
Well,
affects
Movie night.
it's on
Yeah.
Disney Plus.
So hold on a
So-
second. So hold on a second. So you've never seen The Omen. So they did The Omen originally in 1976, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, around
This
there,
is a
yeah.
period piece.
Okay, no, but hold on a second, because here's the thing. Do you know who directed The Omen, the original one?
Oh,
Richard Donner,
yes, thank you.
who went in his next movie was Superman.
Yeah.
He
Interesting.
needed a palate cleanser.
He used a palate cleanser. They remade the movie in 2000, like 2008 or 9, if I'm not mistaken, with Liev Schreiber in the lead role as Damien's father. I can't remember who the mother played, who played the mother in that role, but then when they did the remake, it was almost a shot-for-shot remake of the movie. They didn't.
Oh.
Then it was intentional.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
find stuff like that so fascinating when they intentionally do that.
And if you look, I mean, they did it intentionally because they like the feel of it, like everything else. Everything was updated because it had been 35 years since they'd done the original, but everything else is pretty much one for one with the original movie.
My mom took me to see Omen 3, The Final Conflict, in the theaters when it came out. That's just not a movie you take an 11-year-old to.
No.
Yeah.
The thing
Thanks,
about
Mom.
the first-
Sam Neill.
He was
the
great.
thing about the first Omen, directed by a woman, Arkasha Stevenson. I don't know where she has been all my life, but she. And why has my browser decided Yahoo is my default search engine?
Did you turn it off and turn it back on?
But the woman who stars in it, Nell Tiger Free, she was in Game of Thrones, Servant, that M. Night Shyamalan Apple TV.
Oh, yes.
But she, horror star in the making. There's some really cool body horror stuff that happens in this that I cannot wait to see her in some future horror movies. The other big movie that opened this week, Monkey Man, Dev Patel's directorial debut. The thing about Monkey Man, let me tell you all about Monkey Man. So Monkey Man, Dev Patel wrote, directed, and produced it because the man is a martial artist and he's been dying to be in an action role and nobody will cast him in an action role.
He was in
So
the
he-
Avatar movie.
So he took it upon himself to make his own movie. He turned down roles. He turned down other jobs to make this movie. He broke bones. He got an eye infection. He had to relearn a whole fight to do one-handed because he broke his hand. Like, the man poured his heart and soul into this movie, and it was destined for the cutting room floor. And then Jordan Peele saw it, and Jordan Peele was like, I'm going to get your movie a theatrical debut. And thank God for Jordan Peele. So what the movie's about, it's kind of like your typical revenge story. Dev Patel plays like an underground fighter who wants to seek revenge against the people who are responsible for the death of his mother.
Good
typical-
reason as any.
Good reason as any. Real hero's journey stuff, right? Like, he tries, he fails, training montage, absolutely whoops ass in the third act. So there's things I wish I could say about this movie that don't, but it would spoil it. And there's an aspect of this movie where the liberals are going to fist pump and the right wing are going to go, what did he say? But it's just it's a fantastic debut from him. I don't think it's a perfect debut. I gave it like 4.5 out of 5. I cannot wait to see what he does next. I think this is an awesome entry into his portfolio of like, look what I am capable of. Please, like, give this man more opportunities to make an action movie because this was phenomenal. 4.5 out of 5.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
That's a good review. Is that everything? Let's
Yeah,
see.
that's-
So X-Men 97, of course, I watched. Enjoyed. Discovery. Wow. First 2 episodes. Oh, I know, Rebecca. Not only do we get some great writing and some great acting and storytelling, and oh man, the effects are just amazing. And I get to I get to look at Shaniqua Martin Green for 2 hours. That's always good too. You know,
You're damn right.
so satisfying though. She has just. I'm so glad. I was sad when they killed her on Walking Dead, but then I kept telling myself, but she's gonna be in a Star Trek. It'll be okay.
She's in Orange Is the New Black too, correct?
No, I don't think so.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Anyway, so it was just terrific. Enjoy it. Watch it over and over. I can't believe the direction that they're heading. Again, Rebecca, you're going to have to stay on your course in order to understand what's going to be happening here. I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm one of those Star Trek nerds that did this season on Discovery, and I did, frame by frame. And there's something that's revealed there that I literally jumped out of my chair. I don't often jump out of my chair, but I jumped out of my chair and went, ee!
She was on The Walking Dead.
Well, I know she was in The Walking
Orange
Dead.
Is the New Black is the show.
Oh, sorry.
I'm thinking of somebody else.
I was in a coma.
Yeah.
Again.
But anyway, just enjoyed the hell out of it. And then I watched a comedy special that I think it's on Apple. I can't remember. It's Tig Notaro's latest, and it's called Hello There.
She's so good.
And that was a nice segue, by the way.
And in it, she makes a joke about how she looks like Tom Cruise.
She does.
So we watched that earlier in the week. Forgot about it. And then last night, Sue was saying, well, what do you want to watch tonight? We never did watch that Mission Impossible movie. And I went,
Dead Reckoning?
that's right. We need to watch that because my lovely Haley Atwell is in there. And I get to look at Haley Atwell for 2 hours. Okay, let's do that. God damn. I couldn't look at Tom Cruise without seeing Tig Notaro.
Especially now, because he's finally starting to look like a man in his 60s.
Yes, he's getting that age. And there were times in the shots. That was Tig Notaro, I swear to God. They sent Tig in there, and we need, Tom's off doing Scientology stuff. Bring Tig in. There were times.
Do you also ever pay attention to Tom Cruise's teeth and how they're not like perfectly centered?
Yes, I do. I obsess over. I don't know why. I focus on something, and that's all I can see. But after watching this, and it was an okay little action movie.
That movie rips. Are you kidding me?
That train scene at the end.
Real butt clencher.
Ruined me.
Yeah.
Yes,
Ruined a
it was
perfectly
great.
good train.
But that made me want Marvel to make a Captain Carter movie, live action one with Haley.
Yes.
Did you also notice that her outfit was inspired by David Bowie in Labyrinth?
Only from the codpiece.
I'll pay attention next time. Wow. That made me want a Captain Carter live action movie after seeing her do all the action and stuff. God, she was great.
They were definitely like setting up a passing of the torch.
Felt like it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Kind of felt that way. You're right. And I was like, sure, let her join the IMF. Let's do this.
Let her lead it.
Yeah.
And thank you, Carrie, for ruining engineering for me now. Because I'm never going to see Discovery Engineering the same way.
I know, right?
I bet that's a joke.
But they just barely use her. That's the problem.
But she's getting used again this season.
Yeah,
I know,
she'll be
but
back.
just and she was name dropped, and I appreciate that. But Jet Reno is too good a character just to dangle out 2 or 3 episodes a season.
Not going to disagree.
She has said herself the reason that she's not on as much as it's her fault.
Yeah.
She said because I don't like the jargon, And
She had a chance to play John Hamm's assistant on the morning show. I get it.
And then she also said the reason that I'm doing the show is because they asked me, and I said, only if you let me have a really cool name like Jet Reno. And they went, okay, fine. Come on.
Yeah.
Come play. Let's go. So anyway. Oh, Rebecca, I'm sorry.
6 more years.
Can we get a picture of that just so we can have the meme of Rebecca sighs?
Yes.
Rebecca pouting.
So really, all you have to do, just put it in perspective, finish Next Gen, all of the Next Gen movies. Thankfully, there are no more Star Trek movies after that. and there's only the 2 next gen movies, and then you get DS9, and then you get Enterprise and Voyager, and then
Voyager,
Enterprise,
Enterprise.
and then
Yeah, dude, I have so much other shows to watch.
and then there's like the 2002 to 2007 series Star Trek Aneurysm, and then you get to the Kelvins, which there's only
By
2 of
the
them.
by the time we get to Strange New Worlds is going to be done.
Yeah, long dead. Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
Tony,
they'll-
I'm sorry, Lee. I think you're wrong. We're gonna have to move the Kelvins forward in the timeline for reasons. And I've talked to Carrie about this.
Oh, well, you better talk to Rebecca about it then.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to that last scene of Strange New Worlds where they're like, "How are you feeling, Commodore Pike?" And he's like, "Beep."
Stop it! Stop it! No, I'm praying to Star Trek Jesus that
He hasn't been on
that
yet.
Strange New Worlds ends on what's that planet? Talos 4, is it?
Yeah.
Where he goes to live out the rest of his days.
And then the doctor shows up.
And I want to know. I just want to know what happens to him in his happily ever after.
Oh, Rebecca.
Don't laugh at me.
I'm not.
I think there's going to be a.
I'm laughing with you.
I think there's going to be a picnic outside a farm in Iowa.
There will be.
The
And
horse
Tango,
is
my
there.
horse will be there.
Tango.
Tango.
This castle's awful
no, it was
green.
Denim
I,
on Montana, wasn't it?
denim.
It was
God,
Montana.
I cannot wait to see Anson Mount in denim on denim.
I hope they don't do that to him. No one should wear denim on denim except for Jay Leno.
Carrie,
Yes.
Carrie, did you catch Jackie Keeshan on
Yes, on After Midnight.
After Midnight? That was a solid lineup of guests that night, but Jackie was killing me.
That's why I watched that one.
Who else was there?
Oh, I can't remember their names now. Because it was all about Jackie for me.
Yeah.
A couple of other comedians. Very funny though.
I mean, it's her best friend, and I can never remember her name until I'm watching her do her own stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ma-
I know who you're talking about.
She does the best Paula
Unfortunately,
Deen
she
impersonation.
goes her name-
Margarine. Yeah.
But yeah, that show's a delight. I always
I
just-
have a hard time watching the full hour, so I just watch the little 7-minute snippets on YouTube, and it makes it all work.
Oh,
So
okay. There you go.
yeah.
All right. No Tony here today. So Maria Bamford. That's it. Oh,
Yes.
Oh, I did see that
Oh,
episode.
Maria
Okay.
Maria Bamford. She's
Yeah.
hilarious. Yes.
Maria Bamford does a whole bit on seagulls that had me almost fall out of my chair. So
I was thinking of somebody else because Jackie Cation. Who does she do that podcast with? That's what I was thinking of.
That may be the other person. 'Cause
Could
it was
have
three- it
been.
was- It was 3 women on the panel.
Lori
Maria
was
Bamford.
it Lori Kilmartin? 'Cause
Yes.
she was the third panelist.
Yes, Lori Kilmartin.
Maria Bamford, my Invisible Woman.
Oh.
Back to Arrested Development.
Also, this past week on that show, Arden Marin, she's
Yes.
very funny, and she was on the show and just stole it away from these other 2 guys. It was great.
Yeah.
Anyway, no Tony, so no games. But
Oh yeah,
let's-
yeah.
You have games?
Yeah. Soliloquy: The Silence of Weeping is coming out next week on all JRPG compatible platforms. Katamari something or another,
Ganassi.
and then Go Snorlax Go is coming.
Somebody in the comments was wondering why we haven't talked about Helldivers 2.
We did, didn't
None
we?
of us have played
Well,
it.
I'll just at least the obsession surrounding Helldivers 2. I'll just
Oh,
say my
okay.
husband plays it like all the time, and he's obsessed.
Yeah.
He keeps trying to get me to play it, and I'm like, you know me, I will not
My
play that game.
my Friday night hobby night was just me and one other friend because everybody else was off playing Helldivers, and I'm like, it can't be that good. You don't want to hang out with me.
For democracy or whatever. I don't
Yeah,
know.
whatever.
My husband's just at his computer for democracy, like all the time.
Oh.
It sounds like nationalists
Like
made
I'm
that game.
wondering, I'm like, is he preparing for another January 6th? Like,
Does he talk the
something-
video game?
is there? Oh yeah, baby. Like
Don't
he,
you?
No.
Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Oh no.
I just curse a lot, you know.
That's still talking to your video game.
I just. Do you know how often I think about how I want to replay Stray because I love being a kitty cat?
Yep.
Because when
I couldn't play it because I killed the cat, and then I felt bad.
Well, no, the cat survives in the very beginning because he falls down the thing, but he survives, and then you have the rest of the video game to be him.
No, I kept killing him because I kept falling off things.
You cannot kill a cat.
No, it's just the thought of it made me sad.
But when I was playing the kitty cat and I was like walking up walls and stuff, I was like, I can go anywhere.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's head to the after party.
Yay!
And, thank you all for being here. Thank you so much. And we'll see you on the other side. GeekShowGotThisCovered.com. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Yay!
Push the